Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind. 5, 10.
Welcome to the Deadlights podcast, Mini. I'm your host, Mini Sam.
I'm Mini Leslie, bringing you your mini doses of your mini weekly minis.
The minis of the minis. And today's a special one because we have officially hit our 20th episode.
20!
Of the Deadlights podcast and the Deadlights minisodes, too.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
We've done 20 of each.
We're powering through.
Getting right through them. And first of all, thank you to
everyone.
If you're listening to every single 20 episodes, then thank you. Thank you for listening and watching.
Dedication.
Love it.
You deserve a gold star.
You got it in our book.
You got it.
We're not going to send it to you or anything. But
right here. No, we're keeping them.
We're keeping it.
Because it's also an accomplishment for us.
Yes. We also need to reward ourselves.
Yes.
First of all, Leslie, it's been awesome.
It's been amazing
to do this with you, and I'm excited to see where this takes us and to do 20 more.
Same. Yeah.
It's great.
This has been the most consistent thing out of, the pandemic. And I think in general in my life. And we're watching movies, we're reviewing them, we're talking about them, and I think it's just so much fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It really is so fun.
So I can't imagine us not doing it.
Forever.
Forever.
And,
join us forever.
Forever. Come play with us forever.
And
it has to be mentioned, too, that I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Same.
Except you, Leslie.
Yeah.
I mean, this has
Thank
been,
you.
I think that ever since we met, there was always a spark.
The stars
aligned, and they brought us here. No, but really, you're such an amazing person to embark on this journey with, so let's do it!
Yeah! Hooray!
Hooray for us.
We're doing it!
And so every 10 movies that we watch, we just take a little look back at the last 10 movies and talk about some of our favorite ones. I say let's do, I think this is what we did last time, 2 honorable mentions, and then we got to pick that number 1 movie from the last 10 weeks.
All right. Beautiful.
So just to say the last 10 movies that we did watch, we watched Audition, The Ring, Hush, Rosemary's Baby, The Shape of Water, The Omen, Nightmare Alley, Lamb, Black Swan, and Tokyo Gore Police. Bing, bang, boom. Quite a lineup. Quite a lineup.
What a just spectrum of movies
spectrum.
as well.
Between style and year, too, of when they came out.
I mean, just the fact that we have Audition in Tokyo Gore being our beginning and end of this beautiful 10 episodes with the same actress.
Yeah.
But gore central. None of the other ones, besides Black Swan, that one was more psychological than anything. But none of the other ones. Oh, Hush too. Hush was pretty.
That was pretty visceral. Yeah.
It is the most
real, I would say. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think that just looking at the first and last one is a very nice indication of the range of movies that we've had over these last 10 weeks. And it's great. Thank you, Horror Fates, whoever is determining what we pull out of this bucket. I think you're doing a great job.
Oh, yeah.
Really liking it so far. Well, do you have any thoughts of your first honorable mention?
I think I have my main one.
You have your main one, okay. What about the honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions.
We'll start with those first.
I definitely want to throw, just I think with how beautiful it was and how the cinematography for it, I really appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and put Lamb in there. I think it just was enough psychological without it being mentally disturbing
Mm-hmm.
for it to be a very pleasant movie.
A pleasant watch, at least.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Maybe not a pleasant experience for the characters.
Yeah.
But for us, yeah, I agree. I think that movie was beautifully done. Such an understated, quiet film. And that was my first time watching it. I knew there was this lamb-child hybrid, but what the movie turned out to be actually was so much different than what I thought it was going to be, which is nice. It really is, like, it's a family drama, you know? It's about trauma that a couple goes through and really, like, what that will push you to do.
And, yeah. And I just, like that it was shot in Iceland, and I'd been there, that year, and it was just, I don't know, it was really
well, and also
really cool.
And I think the setting is a large part of what makes that movie, not only for the fact that beautiful cinematography, beautiful mountains, beautiful farm range, but also this idea of being incredibly isolated. I mean, Iceland is a place where sometimes you don't have people for miles and you're just by yourself. And that was a big part of kind of what made the movie scary at some points, was this like intense isolation that you can't escape. Yeah.
And what got to them was like this mystic being where they were just, I don't know. It was good.
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad. I think that one you actually told me about, and I threw into the bucket because you told me about it. I'm glad we picked it.
Yeah, we drew it a lot sooner than I thought we would. Because sometimes with these movies too, like we throw it in there and we really want to watch them, and we're like, well, is it gonna be our 60th? Is it gonna be the 100th? Like, we don't know when we're gonna pull it.
There's so many movies in there at this point where every week when we pull it out, I'm surprised by the one that we pull out. I always forget that that's in there. I'm like, shit, that one's in there too. Dope, great.
And we're just gonna keep on adding.
I think that's got to be done.
We at least have 100's worth of weeks, I guess. Yeah. So like that's what, like 2 years.
We got it.
Yeah.
2 years. See you in 2 years. Man, we're gonna have to do like the top 100 ratings or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be crazy. Great. Lamb. Love that. I love that first pick. I think my first honorable mention is a movie that I actually was surprised at how much I enjoyed it, and that's The Omen.
Ooh.
Yeah, The Omen, classic. It's in the horror lore as a very classic horror movie, and so I think that's maybe why I dismissed it slightly, because I was like, it's gonna be The Omen. It's gonna be good. I know it's a classic horror movie, but I actually really enjoyed it a lot, and it was scarier than I thought it was gonna be, and there was this kind of element of Gregory Peck kind of unraveling this mystery that's going on around him, and it was a really, really good creepy kid.
Yeah.
Scary creepy kid.
He looked haunted.
Yes. Damien. It's all for you, Damien.
It's all for you.
And also something that I wasn't really expecting from that type of movie was the very, very well done effects. The practical effects. I mean, there's obviously the head cutting off scene, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. And then even the girl, like his nanny that hangs herself, like that was like how we start the movie.
Yeah.
And like haunting.
That's where like it's a new chapter and you're like, oh, this isn't this like nice story that I thought it was gonna be.
No. Because it really very much starts off like this happy family, and we got our kid, we didn't think we were gonna have a child, and now we're happy and we're moving around, and I got a new job, and yay.
And the dad is hiding this big old secret too, so it's gonna catch up sometime. Yeah.
And then it's all for you, Damien.
Dun dun dun. We have the devil's son.
We got the devil's son.
We
He's
got a
here.
demon.
Yeah, we got a demon.
We got a demon.
Fuck. Damn.
Fuck.
Yeah. How about okay? Honorable mention numero dos.
Dos. I'm gonna go.
There's some bangers.
Yeah,
on this
there's
list.
some pretty good ones
There's
here.
a lot of really good ones.
I'm gonna go with Jesus. I'm between two.
Okay.
I'm between The Shape of Water and Rosemary's Baby. Because I'd seen The Shape of Water, didn't quite like it the first time. I don't think I was paying attention much. I was drunk. And then and then when I watched it the second time, I really appreciated it. But I think the one that really surprised me was Rosemary's Baby. So I'm gonna give it to that.
Nice.
That one. I also, because of it being in the 70s, I really appreciated the pace of it. It was a lot slower of a movie than we tend to have nowadays. So I really appreciated it building, and it wasn't as dramatic as earlier movies tend to be. Yeah, it was just, another, demon baby.
Another demon baby.
But I think the acting was really well done, and the story in general was a really great script. Those neighbors are so annoying. Oh my god! But it just made the world.
Yeah. And I think that Mia Farrow absolutely stands out. Standout performance. She was you just felt for her so much in that movie.
So much.
And so scared for her. And she just does that role so well of being this seemingly weak pregnant woman who, when a woman is pregnant, they're almost at their most vulnerable. And she had to be strong. She had to keep pushing the truth.
She was literally alone.
She was.
She was alone the whole time.
She didn't have her husband supporting her.
No, he was off acting.
And being part of the fucking cult.
Yeah, he sold her.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yikes. And I think you're right. I think that movie does such a good job with the pacing where they have these peaks and valleys where it ramps up to be this is getting really weird and somewhat dangerous for her. But then because the movie is all about gaslighting, they make her feel comfortable again. And then we as the audience feel comfortable because the movie goes back to more dreamy and we're setting up the nursery now, and so we start to get comfortable again, and then something weird breaks in to remind us, oh wait a second, there's some crazy shit going on. We
haven't left this house ever.
No.
We're there. And it's I don't know about you, but even being in my house for one day is enough for me to be I need to get out. And I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of people felt during the pandemic. So
she's trapped.
She is. And pregnant.
And that's part of it too. Is they use that the fact of her being pregnant against her, and they make that is something that they use to make her weak. My second honorable mention, I think, is going to be Black Swan.
Wow, wow, wow. It's that lesbian.
It's that lesbian stuff.
Yeah.
Black Swan,
Just kidding.
I had seen multiple times before we watched it together, and always have really liked that movie, but I'd never watched it with a critical eye and thinking about the stuff that we talk about in the podcast. And so watching it that time, I definitely started to realize, I was wow, okay, Natalie Portman is dangerously crazy in that movie, and the psychological torture that the filmmakers is putting us through is so intense, and what is real, what isn't. They just it's so well, it toes that line so well that we could watch that movie 100 more times and still not know.
Not get a clear answer.
Yeah, we still don't know.
Obviously it's both. You know?
Right. Yes.
And it's everything
Mm-hmm.
that is causing her, her mental breakdown. But it's devastating because she essentially really dove into the role the way the director wanted her to, but because she's not all that stable, she literally had to.
Mm-hmm. And there's just like so many layers to her character and her situation. Between, first of all, she's in the dance world, which is this very intense, image-centric world. She has a crazy home life too with her mother. There's definitely trauma going on with that. And then her, kind of discovering herself, coming out of her shell for the first time. There's like so many layers that they put into that movie without it feeling overwhelming too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like they explore all those things well enough for us to have such a long conversation about it, but nothing ever feels convoluted or too much. It all really serves the story very well.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And that,
that scene,
that hangnail scene.
Anytime I start feeling the pain, I just need to get it out, and it's one way that I do that is
Yeah, because you just feel it. When she does it, you just feel, because that is a nightmare I think that a lot of people have, is if I pull this hangnail, will it pull?
Just pull everything, unravel all my skin. Oh. Wow.
Just like she was unraveling mentally.
Alrighty then.
All right, the top ones.
Then I have to pick the top one.
You gotta pick the top one now.
I think I'm gonna go. Wait, can you guess which one I'm gonna say?
Honestly, my guess was going to be Black Swan, but now I'm thinking Nightmare Alley for some reason.
Yeah.
Nightmare Alley?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
It is. Nightmare Alley, that just struck a chord in me. And it is definitely something that if you don't ask yourself if this habit that you're creating, that you are indulging in, is healthy, then it becomes an addiction, and then once after that, it's going to be very hard for you to stop. Especially for something that is very it's just a very addictive thing. So
you're talking about his manipulative personality,
all of it, the freaking power, the fact that he thought that he was a god, and the alcohol at the end. You're just ask yourself once in a while, is this healthy? So yeah, and then it's just beautiful. It's just a gorgeous looking film. It won 0 Oscars, so motherfuckers. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Who needs an Oscar anyway?
Honestly, who cares?
And I'm glad you picked it, because that then allows us to talk about Guillermo del Toro, who is, he's appeared twice in these last 10 movies. He is a absolutely amazing modern filmmaker that should be awarded everything. I mean, he is just so good at making and shooting a movie, and he brings us into these worlds. I mean, both the Shape of Water and Nightmare Alley do such a good job of bringing us into his world, between the actors and the production design, the costume design, and then just down to the story. You buy it. Yeah. And he's a monster man. He's a monster maker. He has movies that are fantastical, but we can still buy in so easy because we're in Guillermo's world.
It's fascinating how someone can really just bring you there, and it doesn't look fake. It is so real looking, and it's beautiful, and that noir type of style that he has is just gorgeous. And I just truly am so proud because he is Mexican, and for him to have a space in Hollywood and be this fantastic is just, it's great to see.
Yeah. And I feel I'm excited for those reasons as well. Being a foreign filmmaker, being such a household name in America is amazing. And also I feel honored that he is a horror and thriller director. You know, that is his genre.
He's like he is the one that is breaking, like he is inserting like horror into the Oscars and like because they're made so beautiful that people then are looking at them and being like, oh, you know, like horror films can look like this, you know. So
they're undeniably good. So
from everything.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people have, you know, their own opinions about Nightmare Alley, but I think addiction is a very big problem.
Absolutely.
So. And
that movie shows addiction on so many different levels.
So many levels.
And also, definitely need to mention Bradley Cooper's performance in that movie is really, really, really good.
Yes.
And he
blew me away.
Is another reason that we buy into it so well.
He's with superstars. And he was still shining. So, great.
Yeah. Good on you.
Great.
Yeah. Fucking Nightmare Alley, so good. And from very recently, too.
Yeah.
From very recent. I think that's great. All right, so what do you think my number one is going to be?
I think your number one is going to be Audition.
You're right. My number
Fucking
one.
Hell. We've been spending so much time together.
Yep, we just know. We know what we each like. Yep, Audition is my number one pick for the last 10 movies. And we started it, the last 10 movies with this one. And I think that movie is such a good movie, just in general, between the filmmaking and the acting and the story and the pacing and the cinematography, the gore, you know. I just think it is such a it's also just an incredibly effective film. I love that the last 10 minutes are the only points where we really see an intense amount of gore.
Yeah.
And the movie has just built up to that moment so well that it pays off so well. Like, it was such a satisfying movie in so many ways. And it just like it is just stuck with me, and her performance too is just like I can't talk enough about how good she is.
Yeah, no, she is so good.
Yeah.
Like, to some it might look like she's not doing a lot, but for her, like you said, to have that intensity, and especially in this role, have that meekness to then come like around and being the one implementing pain and suffering to somebody just because she loves to watch people squirm. It's like, oh god, she turned that meekness into like psychoticness. Is that a word?
Psychosis.
Yeah, but that's not what I want to say. Just absolutely crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I think you're right. It's subtle. She's a subtle actress. And we just watched Tokyo Gore Police. And she has that similar meekness, quietness, stoicness about her. But I mentioned in that episode, there's this weight that is behind her eyes that she isn't stoic and empty, but like there's like trauma that is coming through from this character, and because you don't know what, but you know it's there.
And like you don't really see her cry, but she does have that pain that she's carrying, and it's not because she's like forming her face in like a painful way, but it's just kind of like I'm too hurt for me to like even produce like a single tear right now.
I mean, the most expressive that we see her in Audition is in the last couple scenes when she's like laughing and smiling while she's fucking torturing this guy.
What?
You know, like fucking sticking needles in his eyes and cutting off his foot. And that is just so
What does she
terrifying.
say? She says, kitty, kitty, kitty,
Kitty, kitty, kitty, kitty, kitty, kitty, kitty, kitty, kitty, kitty. Deeper, deeper, deeper.
Ah.
Oh my god. It
Ow.
is truly, truly haunting.
Yeah.
And she is haunting.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely in that role.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, love that one.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Well, wonderful.
Wow. What a good lineup.
Yeah.
What's to come for the next 10, I wonder.
Well, you'll just have to tune in,
You'll have to
won't
tune in to
ya?
find out.
We're little
Ooh.
teasing you. Kitty, 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 kitty.
And
Oh,
please,
boy.
I know we mentioned specific ones, but please go watch all these movies. I really do think that every single one of these movies
There, yeah.
deserves a watch
They're
for different
right in the
reasons. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, trigger warnings for those that are very gory, but I mean, it's horror.
It's horror.
So-
You know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
You're opening that door. We're just providing the
Yeah.
key.
Ooh,
you
open
go.
up your arm.
Open up your arm.
You'll get that reference later.
Well, great. Awesome.
Well, beautiful.
On to the next 10.
Yeah, man, what a joy.
What a joy.
What a place to be in right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
The Deadlights.
the Deadlights. Ooh, we're deep in here, baby.
We're swimming.
Whoa, we're swimming.
Something in the Deadlights. Yeah.
And we're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Color Me Leslie.
And me at Beat Beat Richie T. Also, check us out at the Deadlights Pod.
Yes.
And check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we are recording this at.
Mm-hmm.
But until next minisode, let's get mini spooky.
Ooh.
Flying around the
Onto the